What's up, everybody? So, I have another prison story for you. So, when you get arrested in the United States, or at least in California, that's where I did my time, they send you to jail. It'll either be a local city jail or a county jail, like I went to, okay? And basically, what jail is the place that you go to fight your case. So you have to, they arrested you for some crime. You have to go to court and, plead your innocence or say you're guilty, whatever you want to do. And so you go back and forth from the jail to the courts, right? Every few days or every couple weeks, whatever it is. All right. And if you do, in fact, get sentenced and you have to do a prison term, what happens is the city or the county will transfer you to the custody of the state. So again, I was incarcerated in California. So when I got convicted of my crime, they need to transfer you to the prison system. You become, basically, instead of being in the custody of the city or the county, become custody of the state. You're a prisoner of the state, okay? And so you get convicted of your crime, and you wait around, and eventually a state prison bus will come get you, and it'll take you to what's called a reception center, prison reception center. And what that is, a reception center, is basically the prison that you go to first to find out what prison you're going to. So people get arrested on all different kinds of crimes, and so they assess your case. Did you commit murder, or were you just selling drugs, or whatever? What's your sentence? If you have the death penalty, you have to go to a certain prison. Whatever it is, if you have to go to a higher security prison, or do you qualify for lower security prison, they assess all that stuff. They take in consideration, where you were living when you got arrested, because some people like to get visits from their family, so they're like, okay, well, you lived in this county or that county, so we'll try to put you in a prison close to there, so maybe you can still get visits from your family. Whatever, right? Okay, so you go to a reception center. Again, that's the first, technically, prison you go to when you get to prison. And when you get to the reception center, one of the first things they do to you is basically give you a health check, because now you're a prisoner of the state. The state has to assess you. Even though whatever the county did or the city did, basically you got to go through reassessment again. And so they'll do things, I don't know, check your blood pressure, and I don't know, maybe have to see a dentist. I don't remember exactly, but I do know one of the things they have you do is get a TB shot, tuberculosis shot. Okay, it's mandatory that everyone in the California prison system, I don't know about the rest of the country, gets a tuberculosis shot. Okay, they stick you in the arm, and you do the whole thing, see if it bubbles up, whatever. Okay, well, there was one guy, level 5 tough guy, and he decided he didn't want to get a TB shot, and so he said, no, I refuse, I'm not getting a shot. And they said, oh, okay. So what they did was they immediately, because it's not the prison guards that give you the shot, it's the health, like they'll have nurses or whatever come in, and so the nurses, they'll tell the guards, hey, this inmate doesn't want to get the shot, and then the guards will deal with you from there. And so what the guards did is put them in what we call a Superman cage. So I don't know if they even still have them. This was almost 20 years ago that I was locked up. But a Superman cage, if you ever seen an old school phone booth, it's about, I don't know, 7 feet tall, maybe 2 feet wide, a phone booth. So it's about those same dimensions, but it's all metal, and it has it's like a metal grating, so it has holes in it so you could breathe, but it's all metal. And there's a lock on it. They close the door, put a lock on it, and so they put him in this cage. The inmates called the Superman cage, basically for quarantine, or not basically, for quarantine. Okay, and a little fun fact before I go on with my story about the United States. So you may know about the United States that we have rules against cruel and unusual punishment in the United States, right? However, this isn't punishment. If they were like, okay, you committed this crime and you got this sentence, we're going to put you in the Superman cage, you may not legally be able to do that, because our Constitution says, there's constitutional prohibition on cruel and unusual punishment. Maybe you couldn't put a person in that cage, right? But this isn't punishment. This is quarantine for the safety of everybody, not just for the inmates, for the guards, for the other staff, like they said, the nurses or whoever else is there. And so it's not like they put him in there like, okay, we're gonna put you in here like on timeout till you think about it, and we'll let you out in 2 hours or tomorrow or whatever. It's like, no, you're gonna be in permanent quarantine. Not necessarily in a Superman cage. That's temporary. Eventually they'd put him in a cell by himself. But for the remainder of his time, I don't care if he had a year to do, 10 years, or a life sentence. He's gonna be in complete quarantine, away from everybody for the rest of his sentence, however long it is. Okay. And so as he was sitting in that cage, I think his wheels got to turning and thinking, I don't want to be on quarantine for my whole time. So eventually he was like, okay, I'll get the shot. And he did. And which basically, I don't think I ever seen one person who just completely refused and just didn't get it. Because like I said, your sentence is going to be a lot harder. You're not going to have all the privileges, and like I said, you're going to be quarantined all the time. It's just, you're going to have no other human interaction, nothing. And who knows how else they're going to treat you. I mean, and then on top of everything else, they may even be able to get some kind of court order that says you have to get the TB shot. Who knows? You're a prisoner. You don't have a lot of rights as a prisoner. So anyhow, I thought that was pretty funny. He was in there for maybe an hour or two, and like I said, his little wheels got to turn. He was like, screw this, I'll get the shot. So anyhow, just want to tell you that. I thought that was a fun little story. That was a long time ago too. That was because I got to Reception Center. It was either late 2000 or early 2001. So this is over 20 years ago. So I don't even know if they have those Superman cages anymore. I assume they still do the TB shots. But yeah, prison sucks. You got to do a lot of things that you don't want to do. Strip searching and TB shots and just all kinds of stuff. It sucks. Anyhow. That's a story. That's a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.